بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. نتحدث إن شاء الله في خاطرة عن سورة الكهف. We will recite Surat Al-Kahf next, inshallah, chapter, the cave, which is right in the middle of the Quran. And in this surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us few stories, actually four, specific to be specific, four stories are mentioned there. The first story is the story of Al-Kahf, the people of the cave. The second, the story of the two people. One of them had a very nice garden, and he was, feeling so much proud or actually arrogant because of having this. We're not going to go over the details of the stories. And the third story is before the Qarnayn, Sayyidina Musa, the story of Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam and Khadr. And the fourth one is the story of, which is part of the story of Dhul Qarnayn, this king who happened to be righteous, and he will help the people, the good people, against the bad people who are Yajuj and Majuj. Very quickly, the first story, people of Al-Kahf. It's a story of not very old, not very young. It's actually fitya, youth. It's a story of some youth who had some problem because of their faith. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala happened to change the rules of nature for them. They will be in the cave after they will leave their city and, being persecuted and so on. They will stay in the cave for how long? 300 years, 309 years. That's 300 by the solar, and 309 by the solar. Come on. Higgley and 9, okay? Solar is 300. The difference between them, because almost every month, every year, there's 10, 11 days difference. The total difference will be 9 years. So they will stay there for over 300 years, and they will be fine. And Allah Jalla will take care of, نقلبهم ذات اليمين وذات الشمال. If somebody is sleeping for 300 years, his skin will be gone, his body will be gone. But no, Allah will take care of their body. Even the sun rays, the light will come in a special way. The air will come in such a way that Allah will preserve and protect them. كان في تعليق بعض أصحاب الغوص في معاني القرآن قالوا الكهف كان كالرحم له. It was like a womb for them that we get to the womb of our mother, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prepared it in such a special way في قرار مكين, and you will have your food coming to you, and nutritions and everything, and temperature and everything is set for you. And then after a while you come out of the womb of your mother. That's going to be wilada, and you birth and a new life. That's probably exactly what happened to them when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will put them in this cave. It was a mercy. Get to the cave, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will spread for you of His mercy. So it was like a womb for them that everything they were taken care of for 300 years, 309 years, until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring them out of the cave. And there will be a remarkable story for the people after that, when you have people coming from 300 years back. And then Ibn alayhim Masjidah, they were commemorated somehow, and even Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned their story in the Quran for us to be an example for us. That's one story. Second story, the person who was so much, he was wealthy, and it was mainly because he has this garden or this orchard, and he said, who could be better than me? And I have this, and he was having this conversation with his friend. I'm better than you. I have a lot of money. I have a lot of children. And وَمَا أَظُنُّ أَن تَبِيدَ هَذِهِ أَبَدًا. I don't think this is going to vanish, never ever. This is not going to come an end. And even if it comes to an end, and there is a day of judgment, even though I don't think so, I will have a better abode with Allah. This is somebody who is, you remember Brother Jalal was talking about somebody who is, having over 100%. Not confidence, but if there is Jannah, I will be there. When you get to this level of arrogance, that's completely against faith, against submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This person was like this. He was mainly like this because of the money that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him. He ended up losing everything. أصبح يقلب كفيه. After Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala destroyed everything that was a source of arrogance for him. Third story is the story of Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, and the story starts like somebody asking him a question: do you think there's anybody on the face of earth who has more knowledge than you? Well, you're talking about Sayyidina Musa. He was a prophet. Kalimullah, he talked to Allah. He talked to Allah. I mean, at a certain point he was even thinking to look at Allah, but it didn't work. But he talked to Allah Azza wa Jalla. Allah talked to him directly, and he's a prophet, the prophet of his time. And obviously he was better than Al-Khadr, the person that he will later go to learn from him. But the answer of him came not in the best way. He said, no. He said, no, I don't think there's anybody who has more knowledge than me. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will teach him the lesson. No, there is somebody who has more knowledge than you. اذهب إلى مجمع البحرين, go to this place. And he has to travel so much so that he will say, قد وجدنا من سفرنا هذا نصبا. He will travel for so long that he will describe it that we traveled and we walked so long that we were tired. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will teach him to go to this person and be patient with him and learn from him. And he would learn about the three, stories that will happen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will teach him at the end. The main goal was, be humble, and even if you have knowledge and you are the best, but you should humble yourself. The fourth story is the story of Dhul Qarnayn, the man of the two horns. Some Mufassirun mention he was Al-Iskandar al-Akbar, Alexander the Macedonian, mentioned there. He was one of the four kings who happened to dominate the entire earth, east and west and everywhere that was known at this time. Two of them were righteous, two of them were not. He was one of the two righteous, and he, Allah gave him, power over everything, and he was able to do anything. So he had a sultan. He had the authority. He was a king, and he used this power to help people. He went right all the way to the Matli' al-Shams, the east, the farthest east, the farthest west, and he was going everywhere to help people, and he helped those people in the east who were having trouble with Ya'juj and Ma'juj, Gog and Magog, who were like very primitive, very eating everything and destroying everything, even eating humans. He helped them build Radman or Saddan, a big wall that until nowadays they are locked behind it, but the time will come, as the Prophet ﷺ told us, at the end of time, that they will come out and they will cause a big mischief. Do you read any rabat, any link between the four stories? Is there anything between the four stories in common? Why they are just like back to back like this? Is there anything in common if you can think of? Okay.
Never claim that you are the most knowledgeable or the powerful.
Right, but I mean, what is the link between them? This story, and that story. The link could be, Wallahu a'lam, that Allah mentioned probably all kinds of fitan. In the first story, there's fitnatul deen. People who were being tested in their deen, or they were being persecuted because of their faith, and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how they hold firm to it, and Allah rescued them at the end, and He changed even the nature for them. Second was fitnatul al-mal, the fitna of the mal, of money, of wealth. Somebody might, grow certain attitude because of how much money he got. The third was knowledge. Somebody might, even if you are half of the Quran now, even if you are a prophet, that's not going to happen to anybody, but even if you are a prophet, you have to humble yourself because من تواضع لله رفعه. The third was fitnat, power, sultan, authority, power. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us examples of all that fitan, and subhanallah, after each one, they were not like back to back in this story ends, this story begins. No. Every time a story ends, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you a comment in there. So the first story, if you want to be rescued from your deen being tested so hard, or if you want to have this rescue boat, if you want, اصبر نفسك مع الذين يدعون ربهم بالغداة والعشي يريدون. That's one ayah that Allah mentioned right after the people of Al-Kahf, talking to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Story ends. Now, you got to be patient and you got to associate yourself with those who remember Allah. الصحبة الصالحة. The hadith is telling us clearly, المرء على دين خليله. If you want to have a good faith, if you want to have like you keep your religion, be around good people because that will help you a lot. Be around a good environment, as Allah said in here. The second one, yeah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, before Al-Mal wal Banun, He told us, He gave us right after the story ends, He said, He gave us the example of dunya. Because fitnatul mal is mainly fitnatul dunya, that you think when you have the money or wealth, that you got power over everything. Now Allah gives you وَضْرِبْ لَهُمْ مَثَلَ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا. Give them the example of al-hayat al-dunya, like what? It's like a story, like an image. The image is water coming from the sky. Water comes from the sky, and then plants grow up, and very soon you will see after the plants grow up and become big, and فَأَصْبَحَ هَشِيمًا. They will turn to be nothing. You know, after it was a big tree and fruits and stuff, it turns to be yellow and dries out and everything. That's life. Life, you know, you come and you make money or whatever, but then it will all leave you. Either all the money will go away, as Sheikh Shara used to say, or you will go away and leave all the money behind you. It will come to an end. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us this example in here, that لَا تَغْتَرُّ بِالدُّنْيا. And then He will remind us with Al-Akhirah. Actually, there is a common reminder after each story. After the first story, He said, after وَاصْبِرْ نَفْسَكَ and so on, He said, remember, مَاءٍ كَالْمُهْلِ يَشْوِي. Remember, you know, He's giving us an image from the hellfire, how people will drink very hot water, boiling water, and even when they get it close to their face, it was, you know, their face will burn out of the heat of the water. And now after the second story, after He gave us the advice, He said, He reminds us also of Al-Akhirah, one shot of the Day of Judgment, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would say how people will be in line, and how everybody will take His book, and so on. Then the third story, very quickly, fitnatul ilm, that you have to humble yourself. Now after saying, no, I don't think anybody has more knowledge, at the end of the story, he learned how to, I will follow you, I will not ask you, I will be patient with you, and so on. After the fourth story, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, give us the power, the example of somebody who has the power, but he used it in the right way. And then He referred all of these powers and all of this for Allah. قَالَ هَذَا رَحْمَةٌ مِّن رَبِّي. All of that happened because of the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, and Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told us, if you read this story every single Friday, that will work as a light that will enlight for you, or illuminate for you, or will be a light for you until the next Friday. So it will provide you a light for the entire week. In another hadith, مِن تَحْتِ قَدَمِ إِلَى أَعْنَانِ السَّمَاءِ, it will be a light from under your feet all the way to the heaven. In a third hadith, it will be a light from you all the way to Al-Bayt Al-Atiq, to Mecca, to the Kaaba in Mecca. So it will give you a light, because you have a summary of the entire Quran, a summary of the entire life in there, any kind of fitan, and what is the action plan to deal with it, any kind of turmoils, trials that might happen, and the action plan. He also told us that this very surah, chapter that has all of these fitan, will help you, if you understand and you get the point of it, it will help you against or combat the greatest fitna ever. That will be fitnatul ad-Dajjal. He said, if you recite the first part of Al-Kahf, and in another hadith, the last part of it, in the third hadith, Al-Kahf, if you recite this surah, or if you know this surah, it will be isma, like protection from ad-Dajjal, which is the Antichrist, that will come at the end of the time. And obviously, ad-Dajjal has all of these fitan, because he has fitnatul deen. He will tell people, I'm your God, worship me. He has fitnatul mal, because he will tell people, he will order the sky to get rain, he will order the earth to get plants, people will look at this, even he will ask dead people to, he will rise people from death. All of that as fitna from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or as a test from Allah. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told us, there is no fitna between me and until the Day of Judgment graver or bigger than the fitna of the Dajjal. But He gave us how to protect ourselves from this fitna. It's by understanding Surat Al-Kahf. You will know that you will be exposed to so many fitan, and how to combat that. And if you get the lesson of Surat Al-Kahf, you should be able to combat the Dajjal if it happens during your life. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه. 1 minute.